Again, 10 billion land animals are raised just in the United States every year for food. With that comes a lot of waste, up to 500 million tons of manure annually. Now, they store this manure in big manure pits or lagoons. A lot of this will leach into the groundwater. They use a lot of this manure as fertilizer for their crops. Well, when you have that much, you end up with an excess, which yields E. coli contamination on your spinach, on your tomatoes, you name it, you've seen it in the news. A third of all of our U.S. fuels in our country are used towards crop production, which releases, again, up to 90 million tons of carbon dioxide every year. An astonishing 70% of all the grain that we grow in this country is being funneled through livestock. Half of our water supply. I'm from Florida. We're no stranger to drought and water restrictions. Half of our water supply is going towards raising animals for food. That's up to 5,000 gallons of water per pound of beef, where you only need 117 gallons of water per pound of wheat. And of course, because we're having to continuously grow and raise new crops to funnel through these animals, it's more than the earth would ever do naturally. We have to influx with extra chemical fertilizers. When you do that, you have a lot of runoff. If you're familiar with the Gulf of Mexico, we have a dead zone at the mouth of the Mississippi River. This is very common and prevalent when you have an excess amount of extra chemical fertilizers getting caught in your waterways. You end up with dead zones and algal blooms. Another really quick slide of extra pollution notifications from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, the National Institute for Health. They've had a lot of different reporting. Specifically, back in 1996, there were extra high nitrate levels on the perimeters of factory farms, yielding a lot of extra spontaneous abortion cases and blue baby syndrome. The NIH reported back in 1998 hydrogen sulfide emissions claimed upwards of 19 lives. And in the 3-year period, we saw up over 13 million fish killed in just 10 states. Now, these are government-reported industry figures. The American Public Health Association in 2003 called for a moratorium on all new CAFOs as extra evidence has emerged as to the environmental and public health issues. The Pew Commission, they're a watchdog think tank group, they called for, they reported that CAFOs pose unacceptable risks to public health and to our environment. Now, if you were to attempt to enter a factory farm or a slaughterhouse, you wouldn't be allowed to. The Union of Concerned Scientists, however, reported through the Government Accountability Office in 2008 what exactly these animals are being fed. Mad cow disease, as you may recall, occurred a few years ago, so they're no longer allowed to feed cows to cows. But prevalent among all other factory farmed animals are being fed same species meats, diseased animals, animal protein products such as feathers, hair, skin, hooves, and blood, manure and other wastes, plastics, drugs, and chemicals. If you look at the amount of antibiotics, 13.5 million pounds of antibiotics are required to keep these animals in horrific conditions, stressful conditions, unhealthy conditions. Otherwise, they would die. They wouldn't reach slaughter size and age. The antibiotics we're pumping these animals full of are the exact same antibiotics our doctors give us. How many have heard of swine flu? That is a direct result of having these animals live in unhealthy, unnatural conditions. The only way they can do that and be crammed together that closely is with antibiotics. Well, there you have a rapidly reproducing bacteria that will be antibiotic resistant and can jump from, let's see, pigs to turkeys to humans to ferrets, and the most recent update I've heard, a cat. And of course, unhealthy amounts of grain. Now, the organic myth, the humane myth, the cage-free, the free-range, these are all very clever industry labels. We don't have time to get into all of them, but you can go to humanemyth.org and learn more about what the lobbyists have, how they have altered the meanings of these words and these labels to appeal to the compassionate and ethical consumer. Now, many people say, we're humans, we're designed to eat meat, we're carnivores, we've always eaten meat, we have to eat meat. These, again, are true in terms of we can, but we don't need to. That's the good news. I have a chart of the carnivore the herbivore, and the human. Carnivores are meat eaters, strict meat eaters. Wolves, dogs, cats, these are strict carnivores. Herbivores are more plant-eating animals, rabbits, deers, and then we have humans. We'll see that humans and herbivores have more similar physical attributes than that of carnivores. Carnivores, for instance, have sharp pointed teeth to shear flesh. Humans don't have that. No other plant-eating animal has that. Okay, so here's the good news. Here, most of us were raised thinking we needed to consume animals. We had to consume animal proteins. That's what our bodies are designed for. Being a part of the solution and making alternative, compassionate choices has never been easier. This is the easiest thing you'll be able to alleviate all day. Now, in terms of the humans being designed to consume other animals, we are more like plant-eating animals than that of animal-eating animals. Carnivores are animal-eating animals, flesh-eating animals. Herbivores are plant-eating animals. And humans, as you will see, are more like plant-eating animals. For instance, a carnivore, the wolf, the tiger, a lion, these are all, without a doubt, flesh-eating animals. They have sharp, pointed front teeth to shear flesh off of bone. You look at herbivores like deer and rabbits, they don't have that. Neither do humans. We have what some might consider canines, but these are not by any means the same as a cat or a dog or a lion or a fox or any other flesh-sharing animal. They're great for biting into hard-massed fruits and vegetables and nuts. And then you look at our teeth, our grinding teeth that go side to side with our jaws going side to side, just like other plant-eating animals, carnivores. They can't do that. Their jaws go up and down. You look at our physiology, our intestines. Humans' intestines are very similar to herbivores. They're about 10 times the length of our trunk, and they're very convoluted for absorbing nutrients from the foods we consume. A carnivore, a flesh-eating animal, on the other hand, their intestines are only about 3 times the length of their trunk, and they're very smooth, so they can quickly pull the flesh in and then push it back out again. Carnivores are very acidic, and they need to have this extra acidity within their saliva to break down bacteria. Humans are very much like plant-eating animals. We're very basic. We have the basic saliva, just like herbivores, for breaking down starches. Then we hear, well, we need proteins. Animals need proteins. Absolutely, we need proteins. There is a lot of protein in animal products, but with that you're getting a high amount of fat, saturated fats, and cholesterols. Further, because of that, you can end up with osteoporosis and cancers and impaired kidney function and heart disease. The list on the left is a very up-to-date plant-based source of proteins. The plant kingdom has everything the human body needs. There's no shortage of protein in the plant kingdom. Just ask an elephant. Now, in terms of protein sources, my favorites, peanut butter. You can do broccoli and black beans and spinach, and quinoa is the most power-packed protein grain. On the right-hand side of the screen is a very, very dense list of calcium-based plant sources. Many people think, especially women, well, we need to consume dairy and cheese and milk from a cow in order to keep strong bones and teeth to fight off osteoporosis. Well, ladies, I felt very betrayed when I learned that dairy, cheese, cottage cheese, cream cheese, they're all contributing to osteoporosis. Why? Well, you look at what dairy is. Dairy is breast milk from a large female cow. Her mammary fluids are designed such that her baby can grow to be a large cow in a very short period of time. They have very different nutritional needs than a human. Why are humans consuming breast milk from another animal, a very different animal? Further, why are humans the only species consuming breast milk after being a baby? It's a very power-packed, nutrient, hormone-dense food. We don't need it. It's too much. It makes our bodies acidic. And when we become acidic, our body leaches calcium from the only place we store it, and that's our bones. That's a natural reaction when you have such a high protein-dense diet. This list on the right-hand side, however, is a short glimpse of all the calcium-rich plant-based foods that your body will not reject.